So guys, how's it going? And welcome back to another episode of my Madden 17 free-to-play road to glory, pretty much. So, from the last episode, it's been about a week or so since I have recorded for this series, so please bear with me while I'm getting the videos out, but it's just a lot of grinding. And if you do want to see the grinding, and I mean I can put the grinding in the video, so I'm more than happy to do that. It will just be me playing through the solos, but I can, if you guys want to leave topics down in the comments for me to talk about, I'm more than happy to do that, because I can do that while I'm talking through solos, and you can see exactly what I'm doing while I'm going through the team, to be honest, because you can see we have a 460k at the moment, and we have a pretty damn good team. This is the solo team I'm using, so it isn't our proper team. So I will swap to our best overall team. It's not actually there at the moment. I'll click on generate the best lineup, and it will give us the best lineup. But so if we just go to best team overall, it should be about 89, and it is 89. But as you can see, we have got the 94 Antonio Brown in there, which that was a lot of grinding to get him doing the chemistry solos. But if you haven't done the chemistry solos and you want to get this Antonio Brown, definitely go and do them, because they're so worth it. And if you look at this card, it's absolutely insane. If you look at them stats, he's only 5'10", so he's probably best in the slot or as your number 2 wide receiver. He's probably not best as your number 1, just because running across the field is probably where he's best, and just running the precise routes, which your number 1 receiver, to be honest, I tend to just send my number 1 receiver deep. But he's not the type of player who you should be doing that with. I mean, he's quick. 91 speed is not slow at this point in the game. I mean, towards the end of the game, that's still not slow. That's still pretty damn fast. But 92 catch, 92 elusiveness, 95 route running is one of the main things that you're going to notice with him there. So that card just looks unbelievably good. I mean, he's very quick, as you can see, 92 acceleration. But if you haven't gone and done the solos, definitely go and do them. And a tip I'll give you straight early on, since I've already done them, is the exact solos to do. I mean, you can get him and Jadeveon Clowney, and I'm thinking about going to get Jadeveon Clowney, actually, from doing the chemistry solos. But to be honest, it's just the amount of time it takes to do them. It is quite a long time, but if you're doing a free-to-play account, which I am, it's definitely worth it, because the players are worth about 250k each at the moment. So these are the exact solos I've done. I've done all the offense ones, because I think they're the easiest ones. As you can see, chain mover, deep threat, bruising back, and so on, as you can see as I scroll down. And then it gets through to the defender ones, and the defender ones tend to be a little bit harder, because I don't know why. I think it's because on offense, no matter who you have on offense against the computer, it's not too difficult to score touchdowns. But when you have to get certain chemistries in your defense, and you maybe have to not use the best players on your defense, it just makes the game a lot harder. So say, I don't know if this is one of them, but some of them, yeah. You're down with 4 minutes left, you're down, and you've got an 8-point deficit. So you probably start with the ball in this one, and all you have to do is score. But you have to score, and then you have to get a stop with your defence, who potentially aren't as good as your normal defence, and then score again without going into overtime. So scoring again the 2-point isn't too difficult, and with no matter what offence you have, there's certain plays you can do, which I have spoken about before, which get you down the field pretty easily, to be honest. But it's the defending side that makes it a lot more difficult. So these are the reasons I haven't done all these ones. The reason I think I had to do an extra one to get Antonio Brown in was the pass rush one. Just because the players you get are pretty good anyway. But as you can see, these two challenges aren't difficult. You're down by 4 points with 1 minute left in the game. That's just get down the field and score. That's easy enough. And just stop the computer from scoring in return. But it's this one here, you're up by a point, and they have a minute left in the game. And all you have to do is, on defence, what really helps, because pass rush was really good for this one, because obviously the computer's going to pass. And if you've got some good pass rushers on the field, it's designed so that having that minute left is enough time for them to score, but it also gives you the chance to get a good sack or something in and stop them from scoring as well. And that really did benefit me having the pass rushers there, because there's certain plays that I'm using on defence now in the solo challenges that help a lot. And one of them is, if you are struggling with these challenges, they're on all pro, so they're not easy, which is why they take a little bit of time, and they do take a little bit of time, some of them. Some of them you're down by multiple scores, as you can see there. So it does take quite a lot of time doing some of them. I say roughly give about an hour per set of solos is what I tend to do. So doing the Antonio Brown, probably not an hour per set of solos actually, probably 40 minutes, 45 minutes. So doing the Antonio Brown probably took me about 5 hours, but you get a 250k player, and I ended up actually making a little bit of profit off the players that I was using for the sets. So back to the formation I was using on defence. If you're on defence, you want to go with a nickel formation, and I think it's the second one, it's the playbook I'm using anyway, it's the second one along, and it is the double A gap one, I think it's called double A gap, and you go with a mid blitz, so you have 6 guys right on the line blitzing. And the way this works for solo challenges really well is that there'll usually be 5 linemen, and there might be a blocking tight end. If there is, this does still work. So if there's 5 linemen, one of your guys is going to go through untouched, and it forces a quick throw. Sometimes you get unlucky and they manage to get the throw off, but I say 7 times out of 10 they're just going to throw the ball out the sideline, get an incompletion, and you'll slowly but surely get turnovers and work your way through the challenges. But also, if there is a blocking tight end, you can shift the line to the other side where there's not the tight ends, have your line crash towards the opposite side of the way you've moved the line, if that makes sense. I think it does. So say the tight end's on the right, you want to move your line left, have them crash right. That way your guy on the far left will just run through untouched, and that will be either a sack or an incompletion 7 times out of 10, as I said. Or what you want to do, or if they run the ball, actually, the mid blitz works perfectly, because you have 6 guys trying to get straight to the running back, and then you'll have 1 safety manned up on the running back as well. So he won't get any yards on the run, pretty much. They very rarely score on the run, and what I tend to do, if I know it's going to be a run, if they're trying to chew clock or something, which is what they tend to do a lot of the time, use the safety who's either on a tight end or a fullback, and have him run straight at the running back. That way you'll double up on the running back, and he won't get any yards, pretty much. And it takes a little bit of time to get used to. Admittedly, it took me a little bit of time to get used to this, but it definitely does work. So I've just been sitting talking on screen, with the screen not moving, should I say, in the background. But that was the offense. I didn't show you the defense. The defense, I'm very happy with this defense. Larry Wilson is so underrated. He's only a little bit shorter than Brian Dawkins, and he's only got less stats, but in a few of the categories, I think. He's a tiny bit slower, and obviously he does have less hit power than Brian Dawkins, but he plays so well. He's such a good ball hawk for me, which, if he had the ball hawk chemistry, I think he'd be unstoppable. He'd just be so good. But he does work well with Patrick Peterson for me. Both having the same chemistry, it bumps up some stats pretty nicely in there. Overall, the whole defence, I can't single out one person for being a weak link. Admittedly, it isn't perfectly what I normally have it. I've just changing it around here and there. We don't have Josh Norman, we have Darius Slay, and we put Patrick Peterson number 1, Hayden 3, Slay 2. So I'll do that on the background while I'm talking over it and actually make the best team. But I can't fault one player on this team, really. They all play so well. Obviously, I can upgrade in some positions, and if you do want to leave me suggestions of who to upgrade to in the comments, definitely do. Or if you have a player who you think would be really good for the team, let me know down in the comments, because I'm more than happy to pick them up and give them a go out. Because there's a lot of new players at the moment, so a market crash is probably likely to happen at some point. But everyone else, they probably are in the starting positions here at the moment. I actually got Anthony Barr as my Thanksgiving player, which I'm pretty happy about, to be fair. He is good. And if I get the amount of food items I can to upgrade him into a better player, I'll definitely do that. But at the moment, I think you might have to buy packs to be able to get enough food items to be able to get him to his 90 overall. So I'm not sure whether I'll actually be able to do that. I think I'll probably put him as starter, actually. I also have Chandler Jones, a right outside linebacker, and that's mainly for the chemistry. But he's very good at blitzing, because obviously he is a D lineman normally. For some reason, they gave him a right outside linebacker card. I'm not sure whether he played there for the Cardinals during the games, but this card blitzing is unbelievable. As you can see there, he's not slow. Admittedly, he's not the fastest, but he's pretty damn quick for someone if you're blitzing from a linebacker position. 91 block shed, 93 play rec, and 96 strength. So he knows what's going on the whole time. If you send him to that quarterback and it's a play action, he's going to get past the guy who's blocking him so easily, and he'll slam down on the quarterback and get you so many sacks. So he's very good if you're a blitzer. I tend to play a lot of zone coverage, but I'm trying to mix it up a little bit for you guys. So I'm going to get him blitzing a lot more in the games as well. But he is mainly there for chemistry. So we've nearly got the field. We got the field general up because of him, and we got the edge setter up because of him. So that gives Javon Curse and Ray Nitschke good boosts for the team. And Ray Nitschke is probably the best middle linebacker I think I've ever used, besides Ray Lewis last year in Madden. He's just such a dominant player. I think it's his height just makes him look so threatening over the middle. He stuffs the run perfectly. Admittedly, not the best in coverage, but Jamie Collins is good in coverage. So I'm thinking of picking up a second middle linebacker to put in there who is good at coverage as well. I sometimes run with Woodyard, who is better than Collins in pretty much every stat. And he goes up to an 87 overall because of the field general thing as well. But this is the team. We've got Devin Hester at return. We've got Antonio Brown at return at the moment. Fair play. I thought Devin Hester would be better, but Antonio Brown, 95 rated return, man. Not going to say no to that. Le'Veon Bell starting running back. But for today's episode, I might play through a few of the solos just to show you guys, how I'm grinding the coins, how I'm getting the team further on throughout the year, to be honest. So I'm sure that's what you guys want to see. You want to see how you can do it in a cheap way, because not everyone wants to spend loads of money on packs. I know I don't. But, if you do, fair play to you. But if not, this is the way to do it. Because we're already up to nearly 500k. And we have a good team, 88 rated overall. So what I might do is I might play through a few of the chemistry solos for you guys, just to show you how I do it. And how it's... I'm not the best Madden player in the world, far from it. But these solos, you can make them pretty damn easy. So what I'll do to start with, actually, is I'll show you how to pick up the players for very cheap. This might seem like an obvious thing. I'm sure a lot of people know how to do this. But you can just go down to the chemistry you want. I'll wait a quick scroll also, because I know not many people actually know how to do this, and I only just recently found it out as well. If you hold down the analog stick and the down arrow, or the up arrow, whatever way you want to go, hold both the analog stick down and the arrows down, you move down a hell of a lot quicker. And if you spam the trigger buttons as well, that's L2 and R2 if you're on PS4 like me, you go up so much faster. As you can see, you just fly through them, whereas just one at a time takes absolutely ages to go down. But the ones we haven't done, I don't think we've done Inside Blitzer. So this is just an example. I'll probably spend a bit more time going through and deciding who to get. But you just want to see 4 positions you need per chemistry to be able to do the solos. And obviously, CJ Mosley there, cheap middle linebacker, that's 1. We have got Darnell Dockett, 2. He's pretty cheap as well, so he's 8.5k. We've got Navarro Bowman, and we have got Geno Atkins. So we're all pretty cheap there. You can go expensive if you want. You might be able to get lucky and make profit off them. But this is the way to minimise coin loss. You can make a profit if you're lucky, but CJ Mosley here, if we want to do these solos, we'll pick him up. We'll just type in Mosley. And we'll sort of see roughly what price he's going for. If someone hasn't been up for very long, they tend to be around that price anyway. He's been up for 21 minutes, so he might go for a little bit cheaper, but you're not going to lose a lot of coins on a 2.7k player anyway. So anyone can do some of these solos anyway. Some of these, you do need to buy more expensive players, because not many people have the chemistry. I think it's Mobile Blocker or something. You need to pay at least 80k for Alex Mack in the centre. But besides that, I don't remember paying a hefty amount on anyone else. So we also have Darnell Dockett there, and Geno Atkins, I think it was. So I'll just pick up these players and I'll jump into a solo where I can show you guys sort of how it's done during the solos, and then I'll jump into some head-to-head gameplay. But if you're enjoying the episode up to this point, don't forget to like the video. Type in #Survivor as per usual. You know you guys are who always do that. Subscribe to the channel as well, because we're nearly at 2.5k, and I'm hoping this series will just benefit a lot of people, I think. So I'm hoping it gets more exposure, just because I know a lot of people don't want to spend tons of money on the game. And I'm hoping this will be a solution for that. But for now, all I'm going to say is I'll jump into the solos and then jump into some head-to-head gameplay for you guys with the insanely rated Antonio Brown. So we're going to start with the solos, and what I'm mainly going to talk about is obviously how we're going to do the solos, because I suppose you guys could use tips. I mean, if you need the tips, definitely stick around, because you'll just see on the screen exactly how it's done. But this is what you do on defence. You just go with the mid blitz, and as you can see, either side is going to be open. They have 5 linemen, we have 6 guys blitzing. The running back could block, and if the running back does block, it makes the play last about a second longer. But if you can get in there after that second, you're good to go, because he's going to chuck the ball away or you're going to get a sack. So as you can see, once again, 5 linemen. So someone's going to get in. Running back doesn't block. As you can see, we're pretty much clean through to get a sack on Cam Newton there. And he has to chuck the ball away. So it's really simple and it doesn't waste time. I mean, if they're running the ball, obviously the clock does tick down. But if they're not running the ball, they're throwing in completion and the clock doesn't start ticking down. So we're down by 8 at this point. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to try and work my way back up the field pretty quickly and get the 2-point conversion, make it 18-all, make them get a turnover, and then try and score all before the end of the game, because I don't want to go in overtime, because that just wastes so much extra time, which could be used to grind out the other solos. So between recording the start of the video and doing these, I've actually done about 3, 4, maybe 5 of the Jadeveon Clowney solos, so I'm working my way through them. Made a little bit of profit on the way, buying and selling the cards, but not too much, because I'm mainly focusing on just getting the Jadeveon Clowney, because that's another 93 rated card who'll probably be on the team till the end of the year. Unless you guys do want me to sell him, he'll be on the team until the end of the year. So I could sell him. I think if I sell him, I don't use him for a month or something, his price will come down about 100k, but I do want to use him for the month. So I'm debating on that, because obviously it isn't all about profit. It's about getting the players that you think you'll enjoy. And I think Jadeveon Clowney will be just like Chandler Jones is, but better. Just a very good blitzing right outside linebacker. Because you can't use him out of position to get the chemistry, which is quite annoying, but also the chemistry boosts will help a lot of the other players in the team. But as you can see, all I'm doing is running the corner strike, because it gets you upfield pretty quick. If you make the catch, you're going to get 20 plus yards. If you don't make the catch, the clock stops, and I mean, you're going to have a lot more time to work your way just upfield, slowly but surely, I suppose is the best way to do it. As you can see, I still have 2:50 left on the clock, and I'm already past the halfway line. So I know I need 2, maybe 3 catches to easily get into the end zone, but at least I know I'm going to get there at this point, because when you get the computer in a certain defensive formation, I know they can switch out of it, but you can tell certain formations it's going to work against. And this one here, you know it's going to work against, because you're going to have a one-on-one against the cornerback, and it doesn't end up working. And Herman Moore is really good for this. So if you haven't done the Thanksgiving solos, do the Thanksgiving solos, because they really, really do benefit you as well. I'm sure I'm just saying stuff all you guys have done over the course of the past few days, because they've been out for a few days now. But if you haven't, definitely jump onto your Madden, knock out the Thanksgiving solos. They don't take very long. They take about half an hour to an hour to do all of them, because they're really quick ones. And you'll get yourself a lot of good rewards, and that 87 Herman Moore, who will be phenomenal even through to the end of the year, just because of his height. His height is very key. And he's a Lions player, so it's a win-win. But we get the 2-point conversion there. We go with the slants. If you go slants, one person will be open if you leave it long enough. If you can just hang in the pocket, roll out a little bit for long enough, you will easily have time in the game to make the pass. But as you can see, this is the tougher bit, because you don't want to go overtime, because if they get the ball first in overtime, they can score, and you've just wasted about 10, 15 minutes. So we want to force a turnover. And what we're going to do, once again, we go with mid-blitz. Every single play, go in this nickel double A gap formation. Because if you don't want to blitz, I mean, to be honest, I'm quite a hesitant blitzer. I don't like blitzing, because it can give up a big play if it doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, which it doesn't sometimes. As you can see there, luckily it does. We managed to get around the edge. He chucks it away. But if it doesn't work, you are going to give up quite big yardage, to be honest. If they're going to get a pass off, they're going to get a first down near enough. You have to get there very quick. So quick right end and left end are key in this. So I've got Javon Curse, who's one of the quicker ones. I can use him round the outside and get a quick hit in most of the time. As you can see there, Cam Newton throws a pick. And I personally don't like using Cam Newton in this game, so I think his throwing isn't very good. But he sort of is like a running back at quarterback, to be fair. And if you like rolling out, like running with your quarterback, he's the best guy to go with, but I don't like doing that. But anyway, I think that was Larry Wilson getting the pick there. Can't remember if it came up on the screen or not. But this is pretty much game over at this point. I know I can just run the clock down and slowly work my way to the end zone. As you can see, I'm just going to run it wherever I can. Try and pick up the first downs, make them waste their timeouts. And that will save me a lot of time in the long run. So the main thing while grinding, I know it takes people a hell of a lot of time to grind their way through these solos. And what speeds it up is a lot of people will probably go for the touchdown at this point. Don't go for the touchdown. Make them waste their timeouts, chew the clock a bit, and that will save you probably 5-10 minutes per solo. It's just good clock management. And there's 10 odd solos for this. That'll save you a good hour of time. And that's what everyone pretty much wants to do, just save time while grinding. Because it isn't the funnest thing to do in the world for some people. I mean, I love doing it, to be honest. I love playing the solos. I think they're a great addition to the game. And like I said, I just love doing it. But other thing I want to talk about is the way that the events EA are doing during Madden at the moment. So personally, I think the way they're doing the events, I can't think of the right term for it at the moment. It's not the events. It's it'll come to me in a minute. Like the Thanksgiving style stuff is great. I mean, being a Lions fan, also I get some good Lions cards, which is obviously probably why I'm a little bit biased towards it. But on the whole, it's just been really good, I think. I mean, you've got a good Ziggy Answer card now. We've got a good Erica Braun card. Admittedly, he won't get the 5 receptions that's needed to upgrade to 91 rated. I'm pretty certain of that. So if you're thinking of investing in him, don't do it, because I can't see him getting 5 receptions because he never does. The only person that gets above 5 really consistently is Theo Riddick. But anyway, in the background, as you can see, I'm going to go through another solo as well, just in the background, just so you can see it's not a one-trick pony sort of style. Nearly getting a pick there. But these are the ones that I find a little bit harder, actually. When the computers run in hurry up, they tend to come off with the passes more often than not. And when you run in hurry up, they're just going for the big passes. And for some reason, they seem to come off against mid-blitz a lot more than when they're not running hurry up. And I don't exactly know why, but they just do. And this mid-blitz thing isn't courtesy of me. If you go on mutthead.com, I'm sure a lot of you guys use that anyway, but if you go on mutthead.com, there's a lot of tips and tricks on there, which I tend to get most of my advice from. So it's a good community to go to. So if you aren't part of that, definitely go to it. You can add a lot to your Madden game that potentially you wouldn't know about otherwise. And I'm sure a lot of you are members of Mutthead that are on here anyway, because you're probably hardcore Madden fans. But if you aren't, that's where to go. So we force the Bengals to a turnover. We get the ball back, and actually Antonio Brown on kick return does really well. I mean, probably not evident from these two games, but he does do very well. But to be honest, I'm probably gonna end the video here for this one. I'll come back to you guys when I have Jadeveon Clowney, I think. If you want to see more this style video, let me know. If you want different things to happen in the video, also let me know. Like if you want to see more head-to-head. I'm probably not going to do head-to-head in this one, actually. I'll do head-to-head in the next video once we have the Jadeveon Clowney. But if you do want to see different types of videos, do let me know. I'll probably put a draft out tomorrow as well for you guys. But if you have made it this far and have enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. Also, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys soon for another video.